A scream, a child's cry swallowed by roaring flames, and a woman everyone ignored became the only hope. What happened next changed her entire life, because minutes after she risked everything, a billionaire CEO stormed through the smoke, breathless, desperate, searching for her. Evelyn clutched her thin coat tighter around her body as the cold wind scraped against her skin. The streets had become her home, and loneliness her silent companion. Once she had dreams and warm meals. Now, discarded newspapers were her blankets, and strangers' pity was the closest she came to human touch. But even after everything life had taken from her, Evelyn still had a heart that refused to give up. She walked past a small apartment building, just another place where life happened without her. But then, a shriek cut through the air. A little girl, no older than 5, stood trapped on the third-floor balcony. Flames crackled behind her, crawling up the walls like hungry monsters. The street froze. People screamed, others filmed, some called for help. But no one moved. No one except Evelyn. Her heart pounded as she rushed inside the burning building. Smoke clawed at her throat. Fire kissed her skin with blistering heat, but the girl's terrified eyes pulled her forward. Evelyn stumbled up the stairs, each step threatening to be her last. She burst into the child's apartment, lifted the trembling girl into her arms, whispering, "You're safe." "I've got you." The building groaned. The fire roared louder. There was only one way out. Evelyn wrapped the little one in her coat and leaped through the balcony, landing hard on the pavement. Pain exploded in her side. But the girl was alive, breathing, safe. People rushed forward. Sirens wailed in the distance. Evelyn's vision blurred as she tried to stand. But before she could speak, before she could make sure the girl was given to someone who cared, her world went black. She awoke alone, a hospital bed, white walls, confusion clinging to her like smoke. A nurse told her the child survived. But before Evelyn could ask anything more, she learned the truth. The girl had been taken home by her family. They didn't even know the name of the woman who saved her. No reward. No thank you. Just a homeless stranger disappearing into yesterday's headlines. Evelyn left the hospital with nothing. Back to the streets, back to silence. But she didn't regret it. Saving that child meant more than any place to sleep. Yet destiny wasn't finished with her, because somewhere in the city, a billionaire CEO named Alexander Ward was tearing the world apart to find the woman who saved his daughter. He arrived at the burned building, sleeves rolled up, panic still in his eyes. Firefighters told him everything. Witnesses repeated a single name they heard the little girl whisper through soot-covered lips. Her name was Evelyn. Alexander's heart hammered. For months, his little girl had been his only anchor to happiness after losing his wife. The thought of almost losing her, too, shattered him. He made a vow, "I will find the woman who saved my child, and her life will never be the same again." Days passed. Posters went up across the city. News reports begged the brave rescuer to come forward. A massive reward was announced, money Evelyn couldn't even imagine. But Evelyn didn't believe any of it was meant for her. Why would a man like Alexander Ward want to thank someone like her? She returned to the same alley she had slept in the night before the fire, exhausted, hungry, and still covered in bandages. She closed her eyes, praying for warmth, for hope, for something. That's when a black car rolled to a stop, the sound of expensive shoes hitting the pavement. "Quick footsteps, Evelyn!" a man's voice called out, filled with desperate emotion. She looked up. There he was, tall, powerful, dressed in a suit worth more than her lifetime possessions. But his eyes were soft, trembling. "You saved my daughter," Alexander breathed out. "You saved my entire world." Evelyn tried to shake her head, dismissing her worth. But tears flooded her eyes faster than words could come. Before she could speak, something small threw its arms around her. The little girl. "My guardian angel," she whispered. Evelyn's tears finally fell. Why would you come for me?" she choked out. Alexander knelt down beside her, his voice firm yet gentle. "Because heroes like you shouldn't sleep on streets. Because you deserve more than the world has given you." And because I won't let the person who saved my daughter's life feel invisible ever again, he held out his hand. Come with us, please. Evelyn's heart raced. She hesitated. Years of rejection made trust feel impossible. But then she saw the child's hopeful eyes, her small fingers reaching toward her. For the first time in a long, long while, Evelyn felt chosen. She placed her hand in his. Life didn't transform overnight. Trauma and healing traveled together. But Alexander kept his promise. He gave her a home. He gave her a job, counseling, and dignity. Not out of pity, out of gratitude and respect. Evelyn wasn't invisible anymore. 1 year later, she stood on a grand stage at a charity gala, her own charity gala, dedicated to helping the homeless find safety, support, and second chances. Cameras flashed. Applause echoed around her. Alexander stood proudly beside her. And the little girl, now stronger than ever, held her hand like she would never let go. Evelyn spoke to the crowd, voice steady but full of emotion. You never truly lose everything. As long as you never lose the ability to care for someone else. Her story became a reminder. Heroes don't always wear badges. Sometimes they wear torn coats and carry broken hearts, but they still run into the flames. And sometimes, the world notices.